The primary problem that CEOs and organizations have in implementing and executing their strategy really comes down to 3 points. The first is understanding. Very often the people that are creating the strategy have a tendency to believe that the words that they use, everyone understands in the same way. And that's often not the case. As a matter of fact, as a result of different worldviews, different perspectives, many people will hear the same words and they understand those words. However, the implications that they derive from those words can be quite different, which is the second reason. What are the implications of the words that are being spoken? And then the third area that is we find very, very important and often critical is that of priorities. Particularly in complex organizations, there are so many priorities. The complexity of the strategy creates so many priorities. There are so many initiatives that frankly, people just have too many priorities. And if everything is a priority, nothing is a priority. So in summary, I would say that there are 3 issues: understanding, perspective, and priorities. And this, of course, is just compounded as we think and are working with large global organizations that may involve and be working with many different cultures. The evolutional stages, or the way an organization evolves, is critical to understand relative to strategy. And the model that we use, there are 7 stages of evolution, and the thing that's interesting about this is that it also relates to how we evolve as humans. The basic stage, the beginning stage, is a survival stage. This is where what is important to the organization is to have adequate profit, cash flow, and to be able to have the basic foundation that is going to allow the organization to exist in perpetuity. The primary beneficiary at this stage, of course, are the stakeholders of the owners. The second stage, or the next stage that an organization has to evolve through, is one that's basically a relationship stage. This is where there is a need for basic modicum of relationship between the organization and its employees and customers. The third phase or stage that an organization goes into is one of efficiency, where there are economies of scale, policies, procedures are put into place, and they're able to replicate with the same degree of quality. The fourth stage is a renewal stage. This is where an organization begins to develop the value that they are creating for people in new and different ways. Very often, this stage and many organizations are forced into coming up with new products and new services, but it's driven by the competition. An organization that's truly in this renewal stage is one that is initiating this in and of themselves. The fifth stage is one of creating internal connectedness. The primary beneficiaries here, again, are everyone really, because this is the point where we're trying to invoke the passion and the cohesiveness and the creativity of the organization. It's sometimes referred to as the cultural capital stage. The sixth stage is when the organization begins to really refine what the portion of the value creation chain that they're going to operate with. And this is where they begin to have the capabilities and the need to create strategic relationships and alliances. We see this very often in the pharmaceutical and chemicals and telecommunications area. The final stage is one of global connectedness. This is where the organization is viewing the global community as their customer base and are making contributions in a significant way on a global basis. At each of these stages, there is an increase or a wider sphere, if you will, of the population, the community, the society that the organization is creating value for. And along with each of these stages, there's a similar stage of leadership development and competencies that are required specific to each of these 7 stages.